Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I assume you all know the Lion King franchise is one of the greatest in all of Disney history. So today I'm just going to be reacting to random opinions about it I found online. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. Alright, first, both Simba and Kiara are right in the Lion King 2. People like to think it's either one or the other, usually Simba. To be fair, the constant argument between Simba and Kiara is kind of what makes the movie as interesting as it is, and you honestly get where both sides are coming from. Kiara is just a girl that wants to be free from constant overprotection from her father. But there's a reason why Simba is overprotective, especially when you consider all that happened to him in his own time when he was a young lad, and all of the troubles that he used to put himself and Nala into, that Mufasa always had to come and save him from, so he didn't want that cycle to repeat with his own daughter. What I do like most about the movie though is that both of them grow and learn from their mistakes. That's why to me that movie is great. Good take. Next, Kopa is fucking stupid and I'm tired of pretending he's not. I think he's Simba's and Nala's son, I guess. Wait, hold up, let me search it up. Apparently Simba and Nala had other children as well, as you can see on the screen. Yeah, I honestly don't know where the hell he came from. To be honest, I don't care about Kopa. The only children of Simba that I give a shit about are Kiara and Kion. Apart from them, the rest can go fuck themselves, I guess. Next, Zira is unironically one of the most unique and interesting characters Disney's ever created, and the fact that they don't realize that and use her more is a travesty. This one is similar to that. Zira is a more compelling villain than Scar, and no amount of retconning in the upcoming film is going to change that. I wish they would have left in these two deleted scenes because they would have added so much to Scar's character, but they didn't. Zira killing herself instead of falling would have been awesome to keep too, but we still have the smile from the art animation, I guess. A reply to that one. She's also incredibly unique for a Disney villain too. Name one other time you saw a vengeful widow in a Disney, let alone be the bad guy. You're kind of right, Zira is a great villain. I actually really like her. The only issue that I have with Zira is that she wasn't set up at all in the first movie, so in a way it just feels like she came out of nowhere. But I kind of understand her motivation. After all, she was just a lioness who had to take care of 3 kids, who lost her husband, and also had to take care of a bunch of other lionesses. Now, I'm not saying what she did is excusable. She literally tried to overthrow Simba and kill him, but she's an understandable villain, and I like her. I honestly do wish they could have used her more too. Next, Nuka is a victim of abuse much like his siblings, and Nuka's death was his own fault are 2 sentences that can and should coexist. According to what we found out in The Lion King 2, Scar totally disregarded him to the point of even adopting another kid, aka Kovu, to become the next Lion King. I can't imagine how useless he must have felt to Scar. And of course, Zira followed in Scar's footsteps. As a result, Nuka kind of got rejected and, maltreated as a kid. And he also died out of his own carelessness and trying to prove that he was something. His death was kind of sad. I enjoy TLK2 more than the original, and I feel so alone, LMAO. Alright, now that's a hot take. Here's the thing, for me personally, I still enjoy the first movie more, but the second movie is very, very close. And one thing that the second movie does way better than the first movie is give more of its characters, actual character development. What do I mean? In the first movie, Simba was basically the only one that actually had an arc and grew and learned something. Meanwhile, in the second movie, they still found a way to make Simba learn something about parenthood. Kiara definitely grew, and of course, even Kovu. Hell, a lot of the outsiders and even the lionesses of the Pride Lands also learned that they were one. So many more people got character development in the second movie than in the first one. That's the only reason why I would even put the second movie in the same breath as the first one. Anyway, overall, good hot take. I liked this one. Next, the Lion Guard's only great season is season 3. Simba was wrong for exiling Kovu, but not wrong for his initial disposition towards him. The hyenas grossly outnumbered the lions, so quite frankly, the lions should have lost the battle in the first movie. Mufasa was incredibly stupid trying to scale the gorge instead of running in the direction of the stampede or jumping onto the ledge he put Simba on. There was enough room for him to fit in between that pathway Simba ran up on. Okay, nice takes. For your first point, I don't really care too much about Lion Guard, but at the same time, I can't say that season 3 was its only great season. Yes, it must have gotten better with time, but that doesn't mean that the other ones were bad. As for Simba exiling Kovu, it was kind of deserved though. Look, from Simba's perspective, he didn't know everything, alright? For all he knew, he was just keeping himself and his pride safe. So it was understandable what he did. If anything, I would even say that he was wrong for his initial disposition towards him. He was judging him from the start when he didn't even know who he was as an individual. As for the hyenas outnumbering the lionesses, yes, that's what I thought as well. I mean, there's a reason why they took over when Scar came. I'm very surprised that they lost that battle. Even if they did lose that battle, I feel like a lot of the lionesses should have died. There were just so many of them. Even Mufasa himself could take like 3 at a time, at most, at least from what we saw. And even then, he was pumped up on adrenaline by trying to save his son and Nala. It's a 50-50. Well, it doesn't matter now. They won, and we're just going to assume that a lot of them died in the fire. As for Mufasa being incredibly stupid, it was in the heat of the moment where he was trying to save his son again from a stampede. And also, he was saving Simba. His plan was working. It's just that one of the animals that was running through was big enough to push him down to the ground. That was not his fault. Scar's plan could have totally failed that day if not for that coincidence. So that was not exactly his fault. He did what he was supposed to do. At least that's what I think. Next, the original movie completely misses the points of its own message. If the message is learn from the past and own up to it, then there is literally no payoff because Simba's past, in quotes, is something that never happened. So when he goes back to Pride Rock, it's not we forgive you for your mistakes and stand by you. It's wow, it turns out you never even did anything wrong and it was your uncle that killed Mufasa. Love the movie as a whole, but that aspect always bothered me. Okay, that's actually very interesting. I don't actually know how to counter this. You're kind of right. Although, I'll still try to say something though. Simba needed to forgive himself first in order to even get the courage to go back to Pride Rock. So, that message was still kind of important. But you're kind of right. That part didn't actually happen. So to the other lionesses that were living in Pride Rock, they didn't care about that. Once Simba figured out that Scar was the one that killed his dad, they all turned on Scar immediately. But before that, they were willing to let Scar even do whatever he wanted to Simba. This is a very, very nice take. Next, the Lion King isn't that sad. I just rematched the Lion King and I assume you meant rewatched. And to be honest, I realized I have never cried or had strong emotions throughout it for all the times I've watched it. Everyone else in my family, it was a family movie night thing, cried. And I just didn't feel any emotion strong enough to cry. Okay, here's the thing. The scene where Mufasa died was sad, but I never really once cried for that scene. The thing is, whenever I'm watching a movie, no matter how sad that something may seem, I have it in the back of my mind that it is just a movie. That's all. That's just how it is for me. So I can understand if you also think like that as well. As a result, you didn't cry, but the scene was still a sad scene in my opinion. Next, The Lion King 2 would have benefited more if they had showed Kovu as a legitimate threat to Simba, instead of having quickly knocked out of the fight with the outsiders. The thing is, since he didn't actually fight Simba, we don't know how much of a threat that he was to him. Because I feel like all of those years of training that he had must have been for something. As for getting knocked out of the fights with the outsiders, that was just a cheap shot by one of the outsiders that landed on his face when he was too busy trying to stop them from hurting Simba. He didn't really get knocked out of the fight, he just got knocked down. Kovu isn't weak because he got knocked down. Although I agree with you in the sense that I wish we saw a scenario where Kovu got to fight Simba. And here's my hot take, I feel like Simba would still win that fight anyway. In my opinion, Simba is the strongest lion in the whole franchise. I mean, the dude is strong. He was able to fend off against the outsiders on his own. Now, granted, he didn't ragdoll them, but come on, what do you expect? They are trained lionesses. He was supposed to be dead, but he still found a way to survive. Heck, Nuka was the one that even died. So yes, Simba is very strong and I feel like he would have won the fight, but it would have still been an interesting fight to see. Next, I feel like Lion King 2 should have focused a bit more on Kovu and Kiara when they were younger, having a longer secret friendship as cubs before being separated. It really feels like the time skip happened a bit too fast compared to the first movie. Simba was too protective of Kiara to even just easily let her sneak out like that. And even if she did sneak out, it was still kind of difficult for her to get to the Outlands. After all, she literally even met Kovu based on pure coincidence the first time. The chances of that happening again were very, very slim. Kovu was also busy training. I don't think he had that kind of time to be sneaking off to just meet Kiara. At best, the relationship that they had at that point was just surviving a bunch of crocodiles together. I don't personally think that that kind of relationship was strong enough to make them sneak out to see each other. The story still worked the way it was. As for the time skip, yes, it was way quicker than that of the first movie, but it worked to the movie's advantage. Next, we should be talking about Lion King 2 in the same "it's not canon but it's fine if you like it" breath as we are with Lion Guard 1.5 and the 2019 movie. Nothing about it is so remarkably high quality that it automatically deserves to be on a pedestal above the rest of them, and certainly not anywhere close to the original. I understand if you don't like it as much as the original, but it is literally still canon, mate. Like, it literally is, whether you like it or not. Next, really cringe about the Kiara and Kovu relationship is that Rafiki first had to bring them together with his song. We fell in love naturally. A monkey put heart-shaped leaves on us and pulled us through a romantic water slide until we believed it ourselves. Otherwise, the whole story would have gone to shit. That's romantic, isn't it? This is a similar comment to that. The Lion King 2 is cringe. It's not a bad film. I actually really like the film. It's just that the whole romance between Kiara and Kovu was cringe and laughable. I don't know, stories that have a "but daddy, I love him" thing going on are not my cup of tea. They're just silly, boring, and hilarious in a bad way. So I think I should rephrase what I said. Kiara and Kovu are cringe, not the movie. The movie has a lot of great things, mainly the songs and the concept of the outsiders. I think those are great and it's what makes the film at least watchable and enjoyable. But the romance scenes between Kiara and Kovu are just pure cringe, lol. Okay, these are very good takes. As for Rafiki getting involved, I don't think he orchestrated their love for each other. There was literally a scene before that where even Nala was able to see it from afar. And from what we were seeing on screen, they were already falling for each other. Rafiki was just kind of the catalyst. But yes, that whole Inupendi scene was kind of strange and was literally just done for the sake of the visuals. So I understand if you might not like it. And I don't think that their relationship is that cringe. Yes, it had some of that "but daddy, I love him" thing going on. While that in and of itself can be annoying, I think it was done relatively okay in the movie. So that's why, in my opinion, it's not that cringe. But hey, I guess that we all find different things cringe. After all, I definitely find this shit cringe.
Not the time, helicopter! Go.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it.
So to each their own, I guess. Well, overall, nice take though. Fans are always saying it's the Lion King, people. Emphasis on lion. I never considered that it's also the Lion King, emphasis on king. The franchise isn't nearly as interesting without a diversity of animals interacting with each other and showing what a king does for all creatures. The idea of the circle of life unifying all animals is the backbone of the original story. All the characters are important to the DNA. It's fine if you don't like them, but if you dismiss their place and just want to see melodramatic bloody lion infighting, just go watch My Pride or something. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. It's literally the whole point of that movie. Also, imagine how strange it would have been if Zazu was a lion. They would have lost the air power that they needed for loads of the scenes. Or if Timon and Pumbaa were also lions. It would have been kind of strange. So yes, the two movies needed the diversity of animals, but the lions were still front and center to the story. Next, Kiara is a dumb as bricks for thinking a full-grown male lion could hide like 3 glass blades. The one where the frog jumps out. That always cracked me and my friends up. I may not be brave or strong or smart, self-aware queen.
Now that I found you, love will find. I may not be brave.
Yeah, that's the scene they were referring to. As you said, at least she was self-aware. Sisinisawa is better than Hakuna Matata. I never liked Timon and Pumbaa. As for Sisinisawa is better than Hakuna Matata. No, just no, it's not. I don't care. If there's anyone that's watching that hasn't heard Sisinisawa, go listen to it for yourself and decide. But it's just not. As for not liking Timon and Pumbaa, that's fine. Everyone has different things that they like. Next, Kovu feels like a fanfic someone wrote that somehow got into the script. I see the vision, the dark soul that meets the light-hearted girl. Then she kind of saves him from the abyss and turns him to the bright side. Yeah, it's kind of there. it is kind of there. At least it wasn't so stereotypical, and he still had his own story and his own arc. That's why I think it's not that bad. Okay, this one is long as shit. I'm gonna take it one at a time. Next, I think TLK2 did a better job with its romance than the first movie for two reasons. Both Kiara and Kovu get a decent amount of focus, whereas TLK1, only Simba got a good amount of screen time. Meanwhile, Nala didn't get much focus, and still sadly doesn't. And two, I think having the time skip happen a bit earlier helps with giving more focus on Kiara and Kovu's relationship. Plus, I think the animation looks fine for a DTV sequel, but it's definitely not on the same level of the first movie or one and a half. Kiara and Kovu had more screen time. And to add on to that, both of them got character developments, like they grew with each other, they helped each other grow. Whereas for Simba and Nala, only Simba really got meaningful character development on screen. I feel like the relationship came out of nowhere, because at the start of the movie, in fact up until the point where he ran away from home, they were just friends, very good friends. I didn't see any sexual tension between them at all. And then they just grew up and became, horny, and just decided to get it on, which was probably how Kiara was born. But anyway, let's not get into that. Point is, their relationship to me kind of feels like it came out of nowhere, and because she was the only available lioness. To tell you the truth, the only difference between the animation of the first movie and the second one is that the first one has more saturated colors. That is it. I still prefer the first one. Speaking of one and a half, I'm honestly not a big fan of how much favoritism Timon and Pumbaa get over other characters, especially a certain lioness queen. I'm not saying they can't get moments as the main focus, but sometimes it feels like they end up taking focus away from other characters that desperately need it. Also, call me a Puritan, but I really don't like the fart jokes that are made courtesy of Pumbaa. Hey, I mean, the whole point of Lion King 1.5 is that it's kind of like a parody from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective. Also, when I watch the movie myself, I don't take that movie too seriously. I just don't. Because I see it for what it is. A lazy cash grab from another character's perspective. I also do wish that Nala still got more screen time and focus. Because of the format of the movie, that didn't happen. As for the fart jokes, yeah, it seemed like there were way too many of them. As for your next point, not sure if this is much of a hot take, but I think there should also be some focus on Nala's own traumatic childhood growing up during Scar's reign, and how it likely still affects her as an adult. TLK2 showed that Simba still suffers from PTSD thanks to what Scar did, so I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to think that Nala has lingering issues. Heck, sometimes I think she should be the overprotective parent, given she probably had to grow up a lot faster than Simba, who was being taken care of by two of the most carefree Lion King characters. That is a very good point, and once again, it comes down to the fact that Nala doesn't get enough screen time. She could have been an amazing character. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't a bad character. I still liked her. But she could have truly been one of the greatest characters in Disney history if they gave her proper screen time and an actual character arc. And for all we know, she may have also suffered from PTSD, but they never showed us because, well, screw Nala, I guess. As for your final take, now this one might actually be the only hot take here, but I think hypothetically humans can work in the Lion King universe. I think introducing the ideas of rangers and poachers could be a nice way to tie them in. However, I think it would be much better to not have the humans be able to talk to the animal characters, aside from maybe a very few exceptions. Okay, so basically what you want is Madagascar 2. And that's the movie that came straight to my head. While they could work, it doesn't need to happen. There are just some things that don't need to happen, and that is one of the things. As you said, is the only hot take there. Next, This one is a hot take as well. He Lives in You is better than Circle of Life. The music in Lion King 2 is better overall than The Lion King. Okay now, okay. Hold on a sec. Listen to me very, very carefully. I 100%, in fact, I 1000% agree with you. The only thing that the music in The Lion King 1 has over The Lion King 2 for me is theme. All of the songs, most especially Circle of Life, are thematically better than that of The Lion King 2. I mean, the Circle of Life song is literally the whole point of the franchise. And don't get me wrong, the other songs still sound great. My own personal favorites being Can You Feel the Love Tonight and Hakuna Matata. But The Lion King 2, man, like, just about every song there is a banger. He Lives in You, We Are One, In Upendi, Love Will Find a Way, Not One of Us. Like, for me, the only weak song in Lion King 2 was Zira's Lullaby song. Apart from that, all of the other songs were great. To me, they just sound better. I agree with these takes. Now, as for my hot take, I think the Lion King franchise is the greatest that Disney has ever owned. I really enjoy the movies of that franchise, and even the show. I may not like the live action movies so much, but I can't say that they are shit. They're most definitely not shit. Once again, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to. Heck, you can even comment on what video I should do next. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Now, how do I end this video?